Hello and welcome, everyone. We have a two-man show going on for tonight. Unfortunately, Lucas Stackpole, our wonderful host, is off on a fishing trip. He's catching lots and lots of fish out in the, I guess, Pacific Ocean. I'm not sure. I guess there's lakes in California. I'm not sure where specifically he's fishing. Presuming it's fresh water somewhere in some lakes. Nevertheless, you're stuck with me and Peter for today's episode, and the team under the microscope today is the Los Angeles Angels. Pete, there's some nonsense going on in Halo Town.
There's a whole lot of tomfoolery going on out there in Anaheim. It's always been an interesting show to talk about the Angels, but this one might take the cake. It's gonna be really fun. This Angels team is they're in an interesting spot. They're much more in the race than they were last time we did a show, which is weird because they haven't exactly been playing incredibly. They've been all right, but for some they're just finding a way to catch up, and it would be so cool to see this team make a run. Not saying they're going to do it. They're not. I'm not going to put that out there as like hope because I don't want Angels fans to actually hope. But so there's a little something going on here, good and bad, all around for the Angels, and can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah, this reminds me of, I think it was the 2019 Reds that had Derek Dietrich, where they were like a terrifying 70-win team, always hard out, and they're hitting tons of bombs and just having a blast with a bunch of just like borderline guys just kind of out there playing ball. So it's like you see them on the schedule and you're like, oh man, this is gonna be whack. But to get everyone up to speed, the Angels are
Was it?
32 and 48. Yep.
Sorry, wasn't Artistes Aquino also on that team?
Yes,
Sorry,
the
I just
Punisher was also on
needed
that
to say
team.
another name.
That team was
Yes,
bizarre.
that
They
was a
also
very
had
interesting team.
they had
Very interesting
Eugenio
team.
Suarez on that team as well. That was a really bizarre team.
Suarez. Was that
And
before?
Yasiel
Was
Puig,
that
and I'm pretty sure Puig was
after
on that team.
Puig was on that team? That was after Zach Kozar, right? Zach Kozar already retired by then, right?
I'm not entirely
I
sure,
don't remember. This isn't a
but
Red show,
that
anyways.
was, yeah, they're
So
not a red show. It's still a fun team. It gives you vibes though. The Angels are giving me those kind of vibes personally. So,
vibes.
of course, to get the folks up to speed, we have not done a show in a little bit. So, the Angels are currently 32-48. They're 8.5 games back in the AL West still, 4-6 in their last 10. And currently, I found this is kind of funny. This popped up on Baseball Reference when I was doing all the stat checking and whatnot. They have a 0.2% chance to make the playoffs, and obviously, we are not sponsored by any betting company, and we do not directly endorse it. But I just thought it was funny that they're plus 45,000 underdogs to make the playoffs. That's about what that equates to.
Put
So
your put your bets in right now. Put
that
your to
is
make the playoffs in general.
to make the playoffs. Yes,
For a team that's 8.5 games out, that's actually kind of surprising. I know they're not good, so
yes.
like
Unless I'm
we're
doing my
asking a
math
lot
wrong,
here, but
that's where it shook out. If the math is absurdly off, I hope one of our many fans corrects me and sends me DM. So that's $1 to win 450 for context, for easiest context, which is absurd. So if you want to win 450 bucks, hopefully the Angels make the playoffs. So Pete's giving me some sort of confirmation here.
your math is correct. ten
Okay.
dollars wins 4,500, which
Yo,
meaning you would be right. A dollar will win
unbelievable.
$450. That's good odds. I mean, if you have a dollar laying around, I'm not
Yeah,
endorsing
right?
betting, but if you have a dollar laying around, you can put it on the
Can't
Angels,
hurt,
man.
right? Can't hurt. So
It could, well, I mean,
nevertheless,
it's a dollar you can spend. Dollar you can put towards your next meal. But
hey, would you rather let that dollar compound in a savings account for way too long or immediately win $450 and the Angels make the playoffs? That's the real question.
I would rather Angels win the World Series, and I'm a
That would be absurd.
$1,000 heir.
That would be a lot of
So
money. So we're getting a bit off track,
I'll take
obviously.
it.
That is our specialty between the two of us. So the Angels have been a little
Mhm.
bit on and off. They had a series with the Rays that they won. They lost a series to the D-backs. They came to Sacramento to play the Athletics and had a genuine slugfest through 4 games. They split the series. Pete, this was out of control. There was 51 runs scored through 4 games.
That sounds like the Knights, the Mount St. Mary College Knights. Not common knowledge, but a lot of scoring going on, and you know, it didn't all go in the Angels' favor, but there were a lot of runs. If you're a fan of runs, this was the series to watch. Definitely, it was very interesting. To say the
It's absolutely mental. So Friday, June 19th, The Angels blew an 11-4 lead. They lost 12-11 in extra innings. I mean, I feel like that's a good starting point. What is going on here?
Give me the Moneyball vibes when they were on their win streak in that last game where they started blowing that. I think
Oh,
it was
to the
11 to like
Royals?
nothing or 11 to
Yes,
1.
dude. To the
Yeah.
Royals?
Hey,
Yes.
they won
Oh my
though. I
gosh.
mean, the Angels blew this one. This is rough. This is a rough look.
Yes.
In Angels fashion, obviously. This is
That
definitely
was that was the movie moment
on
when
brand.
that was the movie moment when Billy Bean was at the game. Do you think Art Moreno was at this game?
Yes, yes. No, no, he's never at the game.
He is certainly somewhere that is not
if
Anaheim,
he
probably not paying
if
attention
he
to the
if he stepped
scores.
if he stepped foot in that stadium, I don't think he makes it out alive.
Dude,
I just
oh man.
I don't think that's a safe situation for him. I think he knows better.
There was a
Winning's not a top
situation
5 priority.
there was a situation a couple years ago in the English Premier League of soccer, football, and Brighton, which is one of the teams, was really unhappy with their owner, and they caught her at a game. Fans caught her at the game and genuinely assaulted her the second they saw her, like it was on site. So I'm curious if Anaheim
That's
fans care enough to do that to Art Moreno.
but they don't care about winning, so they wouldn't hurt him.
You're right. Well, the stadium's not clean either. They care way more about that. They're
Hey, hey,
angry.
hey.
They're going to be out there
Uh,
rioting. They're going to be showing Art the dead rats they've been
Oh,
finding
man.
in Angel Stadium.
Oh, oh,
So
boy.
we get into the absolute absurd logistics of this game. This was crazy. The Angels, of course, blew this massive lead. The A's both teams hit a boatload of home runs, and it was just out of control. It was mental. I was seeing all this pop up on my Instagram, and I was like, what is going on here? This is absurd. So, Ultra ESPN stat that Pete enlightened all of us in our group chat with: the Angels are the first team in MLB history, baby. We have history makers to have a 7+ run lead, hit 5 home runs in a game, score 7 runs in a single inning, and still lose. You can't even make that up.
That is definitely ESPN stat. Shout out to at WTF Stats, and I think that's a very proper and appropriate name for this stat. This is a rough one. Who goes around and like does the research for this? Because that sounds like quite the job
It's got to be people that are just way too
to
bored, man. They got too much time on their hands.
know the type of people that post about when two celebrities stop following each other. Like,
Dude,
do
oh
you
my
go
god.
scrolling every day through their following list to find out who they're not following
Oh
anymore?
man.
Like,
What was that huge
I'm sorry if you're one of those people.
what
I
was that
want you to say
massive
as a listener.
what was that like massive like news break when I wasn't it Aaron Donald took like the Rams out of his bio or something like that? It was something really stupid.
Probably one of those things, yeah. Yeah, probably was
Like,
something like
yeah,
that. We can never stay on topic, man. We actually just
it's
cannot do it. I
it's about in
Stack is the
topic
only
though.
thing keeping us
Like
on topic, yeah.
it's all
Yeah,
right.
I mean, kinda. Aaron Donald plays for the Angels,
We're
right?
swerving on the road towards victory. So we're still on our way
Aaron
to
Donald's my
Valhalla.
favorite Angels player.
But this game was unbelievable. I cannot
Mhm.
comprehend what was going on here. So if this is not anything more Angels coded, then I don't know what else you want, quite frankly. The bullpen
I loved, oh,
cooked.
very good.
The offense still damn good. The pitching is just letting this team down.
I loved, looking on their Instagram post game. The last post they made was about all the homers they'd hit, and then
Oh,
nothing else
dude.
after, and that's a very fair thing to do, man. After a game like that, you
Yep.
can't put anything on the socials. That you will get torn to pieces.
Oh, it's so bad.
So,
It's
it was funny
that
though.
sounds like the Knights again. All the game day stuff I'd prep and
More niche
whatnot, and
references.
the in game posts, and then we lose. So then, yeah, as a social media manager, you don't want to post anything else because your job is to hype it up as much as possible, to be in the moment as much as possible, give people the updates, and then it's like, well, yeah, it's just really annoying.
Update, we lost,
Yeah, yeah,
we
dude, the
suck.
other team scored more runs than us. Oh no, man. So I was trying to pull up the box score from this just to look at the absolute carnage that took place here. So within the
Yeah.
6th inning, there was a point they were up 11-4 in the 6th, and then it went off the rails. And the Athletics started hitting. They had 5. What's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight frames of runs. So that paints a picture. That paints a picture where you're ahead of boatload, you're ahead of country mile, and the bullpen just does not help. You can't even blame that on the offense. 11 runs wins you a ball game 9 times out of 10.
Yep, and the, pitching staff had something to say about that clearly. They, didn't want that to happen, and it's the most frustrating thing in the world. It goes both ways, though. I mean, when the hitters do their job, as well as the Angels hitters did their job in that game, is the most frustrating thing in the world to look and see yourself lose a game as the other team as the pitching side just does not hold up their end of the bargain.
I think
Sickening.
obviously microanalyzing, that's a great point. Obviously microanalyzing one game is not going to do us a whole load of good. But it's a talk show, and I feel like this game in specific is a really good microscope to how the Angels have been and how we have said multiple times that they're not playing sustainable baseball that's going to get them through 162 games. We're working towards the end of July, towards the All-Star break. We're getting toward the dog days of the season. We can't be losing games like this. I mean, you'll love a fun game every now and again. But if you're a team that's up 7 runs, you can't be letting this happen. This is just absurd.
Just yeah, it's not winning baseball, and that's been the story about the Angels since Mike Trout's been there. It's just the story of this team for over a decade now. It's just been they're not playing winning baseball, and of course, you can always attribute that to the way the team is being built by the front office, but also a lot of it has to do with the guys just don't seem to have it all put together as a team as a whole. You know, just nobody they're not on the same page enough to build on any success, and it's really frustrating to watch. And I want to root for this team. Heck, I do root for this team, and it is just rough to watch for sure.
Yeah, I understand that bullpen, 6th highest ERA in the league currently. We'll get into that a little bit later. But to segue into what you just said, Mike Trout, obviously he's been dealing with this a long time. But currently, Mike Trout is on the 10-day IL, which was announced in the middle of the athletic series with a right hamstring strain. So Pete, you might be more clued into injuries than I am. Are we looking at more time off than just 10 days?
Um, I'm glad I get to be the knowledgeable injury guy. Hamstrings are a rough one. They're kind of finicky, especially if you push them a little too early and then you tweak it again. And it's like one of the main muscles in running, which is always scary. I know Trout has had his problems with hamstring. He's had multiple hamstring problems. Um, when I first saw this news, I was like, oh no, not again. But 10-day IL is not terrible. They don't seem too worried about it, so it's just a wait and see situation. But with Trout, you always want to place on this err on the side of caution. We know his injury history. We know it's a problem for him. You gotta take it slow with him, and I think he'll be fine. Just gotta pray he stays healthy for us this year. This would be one of his more healthy seasons in recent history if he can hold it together for a little bit longer.
I believe he's played close to how many games have we played currently in this season? We're really up to
Let me just check it
78,
out. Let me just check it out.
77, 78. He's played over 70 games, I'm pretty sure. So he's gotten close
Which
to
is
playing almost
beautiful.
every
That's
game
exactly what we
available.
want.
So yeah, that is
Oh, sorry,
precisely what you want.
I take it back. Last year he did play 130 games. Um,
Okay. I
so
think that's the
that's
most he's
actually
played in
pretty
a
good
long
numbers.
time.
Oh, it is. You'd have to go back to 2019 before that. It was
God help
2025
us.
last year, and then the last time he did more than that was 2019, 134. From there, 2020 he went 53 games. Actually, that was majority of the season in 2020. So that was the last season he played all the games. 2021 he played 36 games. 2022 he played 119. 2023 82. 2024 29. He hasn't played much. So hopefully this is just a minor setback. He's been playing good baseball. Um, so I'm just hoping his body can hold up. Take your time with him. If you're the Angels, what are they called? The trainers. Take your time with him, please. Do not rush him back.
Of course, and it can become a kickback effect, a butterfly effect, because without Trout, obviously, they don't want to rush him back. It's getting to a point where there's a lot of questions if they will eventually trade him. So at that point, you're gonna want to keep him healthy. It doesn't help when he's leading the team in WAR, he's tied for the lead in home runs, and he leads the team in OPS. So maybe we can get a miniature conversation out of this. Do we think this is his last season as an Angel.
Man, this is a rough one. I personally want to say no. I would love to see him as a career Angel. I think baseball is the sport where winning championships is not really important to a player's legacy. Like it's the most like it's I think it's the most it's the least championship driven sport because it's such a team. Like you need a full roster. You can't have like one guy, and that's Mike Trout's obviously a great example of that. I personally do not think that. I don't think the Angels should let go of him. I don't think he will go anywhere. Um, I would love to see him win. I feel obviously I feel terrible for him, but I don't I don't see them getting rid of him. I think that he sticks it out with the Angels at least for the time being. Maybe last couple years of his career, he could get sent somewhere else to like kind of ring chase. I mean, but I don't know. Overall, I'm kind of I would like to see him stay. I'm still 50-50 on what their front office wants to do. It's not I'm not in the room where it happens, so it's a wait and see situation.
I think the front office is smashing star shaped blocks into circle shaped holes right now. So I'm not sure how much they actually care what he's doing. I think the easiest answer, because this obviously hypotheticals can get really deep into a rabbit hole. I think the easiest answer is that if he were to leave, it'd be to a contender. Otherwise, I don't know how much intention he has of leaving. I don't know how much he actually wants to leave.
I feel like if he wanted to leave, he would have left by now.
Yeah,
That's
that's
another
a good
thing.
point.
And another good point though is if he does decide he wants to leave, I have a feeling the Angels are going to do right by him and let him go. Let him just basically decide where he's going to go. Like he like teams will obviously offer trades. And I think it'll basically be up to him where he goes. I mean, if the Angels didn't do that, I'd be pretty pissed for him because after everything he's given to that team, the least they owe him is his choice of where he gets to go after. But you know, Trout, he's a great player. I love him as an Angel. I love him as a player. I would love to see him win, but at the same time, I think it's really good for both sides if he stays. Maybe not for Trout's side. Okay, I think it's a more honorable legacy to stay with one team for your entire career, even if things aren't going well. I know guys say, "Go chase your ring," blah blah blah. I think that he should stay.
I think you have more aura when you stay with one team for your entire career. Kevin Durant, no aura, bro. Lost all of his aura moving as many times as he has. So this is not a basketball show. We're not getting into that. But the microcosm of what could be Mike Trout's career, an intriguing prospect. But we'll continue moving forward as we are paid to do. So the other keynote game from the series where the Angels actually won, they themselves came back from a deficit. The Athletics blew a lead. So the final game of the series on the 21st of June, the Angels won 97 with late home runs to steal a series split. The Angels' only runs come off of multi-bag homers, so they were all more than a single, like they were all more than solo shots. And Denzer Guzman's 3-run shot tied it in the 8th. Zach Neto hits a 2-run shot in the 9th for the go-ahead, and then they close the game.
Sorry, I didn't know that was a cue. Crazy game. Uh, I'm reading your notes now. I think it's kind of funny. I'm just gonna put blank Pikachu power question mark. I thought that was pretty
Yes.
funny. Um, I know we're gonna talk about it in a second. A lot of long balls, and
Yeah.
you know they're always fun to watch. I'll put it that way. But we can kind of segue into your question now if you'd like to, because I'm actually interested in this one. This is gonna be an interesting talk.
The uh the cause for concern that the Angels are becoming too reliant. Are they becoming too reliant on the long ball? Is this warning signs, right? Because obviously, not to monopolize this, but the Angels winning the game is cool. That's awesome. But also, their first run of the game was a home run. And then the other two, literally every run in this game was generated from home runs. They did not manufacture any of these. These were all balls that got hit out of play, over the fence. Technically, that's not a manufactured run. I'm pretty sure, unless I'm getting the terminology wrong.
I mean, people get the point regardless. I think they can understand what you're trying to
Yeah.
say. And to answer this question, I think I would personally consider it a concern just because, you know, when a team like long balls are great. Everybody loves to see a homer. Homers are sick, right? The problem with that is what happens when your guys are slumping? Because this team's already not winning a ton and they're hitting a lot of homers. So if this offense starts slumping, then they have no ability to manufacture any sort of runs. And teams that are able to do some small ball work tend to have more success, even when things aren't going their way, as opposed to a team that's so reliant on home runs. You're talking to a Yankees fan here who knows teams that are strictly reliant on home runs. The Yankee teams, they don't know how to hit with runners in scoring position. They don't know how to do anything small ball related. And, with this Angels team, you that's like what you don't want to see because this team doesn't even win when they're hitting homers. If they slump, it's over for them. They're not scoring anything. And that has a lot to do with just overall, like that's going to cause your team to win less games. It's just going to put your team in a worse spot unless the pitching is just that good, which over here it's definitely not.
Yeah, the sentiment is that obviously long balls are great. That does help you a lot. Obviously, teams like a more balanced approach. You do see a lot of top heavy teams with power threats, but you still have to balance it out. The weird thing is that the Angels, I would not say have a direct power threat. There's not one guy in the lineup that I'm looking at. Like he doesn't give me the type of aura that like a Judge or a Schwarber or like a last season Raleigh are giving me. There's all of them are just swinging for the fences, which is cool, but at the same time, you don't want that. Honestly, that's not sustainable whatsoever.
Yeah, and with that, like it's different when you like you said when you have a guy like Judge, like Shohei, like Schwarber, the guys who when they step in the box, like every single time they touch the ball. If you're in the stadium, this is a good example. I've been in a stadium where Shohei was playing. I've been in a stadium where Judge is playing. Anytime the ball touches their bat, the entire crowd goes nuts, regardless. It could be a ground ball and they freak out about it. It could be a pop fly, they freak out about it. It's just the Angels don't have anybody like that. They don't have anybody with that crazy amount of power where it's one of those things where you have to worry. Mike Trout's probably the only guy where I'd be like, this guy's got pop. I would be scared to pitch to him type of guy. I know they have guys with pop, but they're not reliable enough to get enough hits to really have to worry about them. And all these guys just do is swing for the long ball. It's not a sustainable way to win baseball games. And it's cool to see that's working right now. They won the game strictly off homers. But what happens when your guys are just missing these pitches and you're getting shut out day in, day out? You know?
Yeah, and obviously we keep saying not sustainable. I'm thinking it's very random, but the our team's baseball coach at school, very much at the beginning, way back in the beginning of the season before we started, I remember him saying, "Hey guys, like we don't have anyone that's going to be slugging, hitting tons of home runs this year. I don't want to be hearing guys saying, I just missed that, coming to the dugout, popping stuff up. We got to be hitting the ball low. We got to be hitting hard, hitting up the middle, just knocking base hits, getting guys in." And I think that's the sentiment that the Angels are losing. But the weird thing is that they're still scoring a lot of runs, but the pitching is so bad that that's getting kind of masked. So if we were in a situation where they're winning, they're able to hold on to these leads, they're able to win these games where they're getting ahead, then it's a completely different story. Obviously, they're getting shut out here and there. That's going to happen. That happens to everybody. So it's not like they're having a lack of run scoring. They're beating the crap out of the baseball. It's just the problem that as a collective, I don't think they're operating well enough. And to bring it back, obviously, I'm ranting a little, or I'm going on a little bit, but to bring it back, the reliance on the long ball would be even more of a glaring issue if they were a competitive team. So it's like for Angels fans, it's probably a blast. You go there, you're seeing all nine guys swing out of their shoes. You're probably seeing a couple homers a game. You're getting your tickets worth for whatever it is, probably $5. I mean, concessions are probably more expensive than the tickets. So it's probably cool from a fan's perspective, from a baseball perspective. It's just kind of not what you want to see at all.
Yeah. I also think it's funny. The Mount St. Mary College Knights have been mentioned 3 times in this episode. That's
Well,
pretty
we're both
impressive to
wearing
me.
the night head.
I'm Yeah, retiree of college baseball. But anyways, um, yeah, I mean, I'm sure that all these guys coming to the games to swing out of their shoes and try to hit bombs, I'm sure it's completely fun to watch. And I'm sure it's fun to see multi-homer nights where you're seeing guys crush balls. I'm sure it's great for the fans. It's not great for winning, especially if your guys are not hitting the ball out as often as they should be. And it doesn't help when you have one of the worst pitching staffs in baseball. So this team just needs to figure so much out all at once. And I would love nothing more than to see Angels playoff baseball with
Oh
Mike Trout
man.
on roster. But this is
Uh,
not looking like a good situation. They need to learn small ball. Small ball is a skill that you can do a bit of both. You can have guys doing a bit of both. But the ability to hit with some small ball mentality is a beautiful thing because it makes manufacturing runs so easy, and it's so satisfying when a guy pulls off a hit and run. You get a nice little, like,
oh
you
man,
score
there's
a run
nothing
on a
better than
guy
that.
stealing first or stealing second. You poke a ball into, like, right center field. You got to run. It's just, you know, I like a little bit of small ball. I love a little bit of bombs. I like a bit of both. You need to be able to do both.
Of course, I mean you get your moments, right? And this would be such an intriguing conversation if they were winning these ball games because they're scoring runs by the boatload. At least from the series alone, they were scoring runs by the boatload. It's very bizarre. Obviously, the inner child in both of us would love to see Mike Trout and the Angels be a playoff team. They're nowhere near that right now. We're not in good shape. I'm not loving it. But they are getting to a point where I guess we are resorting to idolizing statues of Pikachu. So, taking just a half step back here on our little sheet, the go ahead home run that Zach Neto hit in the last game of the series, the camera was looking at a Pikachu statue he brought with him to the dugout. And literal seconds later, he clubbed an inside fastball, took the lead, and he did his post game interview with said Pikachu. So, there was also a situation earlier in the year where the Angels were opening up Pokemon packs in the dugout or in like the clubhouse, and they pulled a Pikachu, and Mike Trout and Zach Neto both hit home runs that day. So I have to start wondering: does the entire team need Pikachu's? You're on mute here, Pete.
Um, this is such a losing team activity
It's
for a
just
team to be
comical.
doing. Like, what are we doing? Hey, I'm a big Pokemon guy. What are we doing? Hey, I mean, if ripping packs and pulling Pikachu's makes you hit more homers, by all means, maybe the pitching staff needs to start opening some packs. Maybe they can start pitching well too. We need like the pitching staff needs to get in on this. I think we have a little bit of divide here.
I think I think the pitching staff has been pulling Jigglypuffs because they've been self-destructing. I don't really know what's been
Yeah,
going
like
on.
clearly, like self destruct. That was a bar.
Thank you.
That was a bar.
But anyways, unbelievably unserious point. I still think the Pikachu statue leading to a game-winning home run was comical. So we'll peruse on past that. But as the mention of the self-destructing bullpen, the folks on the back end inside the Boy Zoo have a whopping 4.71 ERA as a collective, sixth worst in the league. I mean, what are we doing?
For those that are new to baseball, that's not good. That's not good ERA.
It's bad.
You don't want to see that. 4.7. Well, that's pretty high. I feel like we've already dogged the pitching staff alone so much this episode. I'm kind of running out of words to use to dog them. They're disgusting. They're abhorrent. They're I wouldn't let them date my daughter.
They
I
might be
don't
great
know. I'm trying
guys.
to think of more insults I can come with.
Yeah, right.
No, clearly they're not.
No, it's bad, man. This is like this is like the this is like that cartoon graphic of like the guy flirting with the girl in the office and then like the fatter one flirts with her and she calls HR. So it's like better teams in the league boast really bad bullpens and we're like, all right, that's fine, whatever. But then it's the Angels. We're like, well, okay, hold on. I'm hitting the pause button on that. So obviously that's a
All right.
I'm just
Sorry,
saying
real
the
quick.
proof's in the
I
proof is in the pudding. It's not a lot. There's not a lot else you can say when the bullpen's ERA is this bad. I mean, it's right in front of you.
Mhm. Sorry, I had to pull. I pulled up the thesaurus for this.
All right, here we go.
Um, abysmal. They're
Here we go.
abysmal. They're lousy. They're substandard. They're execrable. I learned a new word today. Extremely bad or unpleasant. Execrable. Execrable. Okay. Anyways,
Okay.
they suck. That's
Abhorrent.
the point
That's
I think
my
we're getting
go-to.
at here. They're abhorrent. Abhorrent is one of my favorite words. Via you, put me on.
I do use
You
that
put
word a
me on
lot.
to the English language. Thank you, Bob.
They are tragic. It's a tragedy. We're writing Shakespeare, we're reading it, we're living it. So I think we can move past the fact that the bullpen is this bad, and as we move towards the end of the lane here on this roller coaster we've taken this episode through, phenomenal quotes from Bob Nightingale. The Bob Nightingale has claimed he thinks if the Angels wanted to trade Reed Detmers, of course Reed Detmers has been lights out with the Angels. We've mentioned in the last episode. Not a lot else to talk about there. They could demand a trade package greater than the one the Tigers will receive for Tarek Skubal. Just putting that in the universe. I mean, wow. That's a bar, that's a bar, Bob. Come on.
What?
I mean,
That's
wow. Stay
insane.
hot. Get hot, stay hot.
To quote the great Russell Westbrook here. What are you talking about, man?
What?
Like what?
What?
No, but
What are you talking about,
that's
man?
actually insane. That I mean, Reed Detmers. I know he has a ton of potential, right? Ton of
Mm-hmm.
potential. Um, no, just no. I don't agree with any of this. Bob from Philly. Do you claim Bob Nightingale as a Bob?
Dude, that's a
Do you
brutal
claim him as
take.
one of your
Like, I
Bobs?
don't know. I don't think I can.
You have
It's
to say you
bad,
share a
man.
name with Bob Nightingale. That's Bob has had
Man,
some rough takes. Do you think he actually like heard this from somebody within the with how poor the Angels front office has been, I wouldn't even be surprised if this is what they're asking. I mean, I guess that's basically code for we're not getting rid of him. I would venture to say that. I guess it's just code for he's staying here. But still, yeah, like come on, guys. This is rough.
I feel like this is. I mean, I'm not calling Reed Edmers a random, but this is when you are a child and you play your first like Madden career mode, like your first franchise, and you're just throwing absolute nonsense to trade for like all of the best 99s in the game. Like, why can't I get Rob Gronkowski for a 5th round pick and like my 5th string wide receiver? I don't understand. Like that, I feel like teams are dreading a
Breaking
call.
news. Oh,
I feel like teams are dreading a
you're good,
call
you're good.
from whatever. I wish Lucas would hear. He would know the area code off the top of his head. They're probably dreading a call from Art Moreno. They are not in the mood.
Oh yes, 100%.
Actually,
Yeah,
Art's probably
no,
not the one
definitely would
doing
not
it,
be for
but
that.
either way, whoever's
Art
the
doesn't do
baseball
anything right.
operation manager there, they're probably dreading the call. They don't want to hear it.
This is the equivalent of if the Browns wanted to trade Deshaun Watson, they could demand a package greater than the one that the Bengals would receive for Joe Burrow. Like this is a crazy comparison. I believe in Reed Detmers, but I don't believe in him that much. That's a little wild to me. That's a little out there, a little crazy.
The Angels
Not
saw
valid.
the Angels think they could get what the Bucks just got for Giannis for Reed Detmers. I think that's what they think is going on here, which is just
So wait,
ridiculous.
I have an off the top question that I just thought of. Who who are the Angels approaching the Jets level of bad for the MLB? Like are they starting to become the equivalent of the Jets? Is it getting that bad?
I feel like it's hard to compare because you know what? Honestly, I think so. Because the Jets
They're
are in
pretty
a big
dang close,
market.
man.
They're in a big market. They've got the potential. They've got decent names, and it's just been prolonged just L's and a lot of different
Yeah,
coaches.
yeah,
So I think the Angels are
yeah.
most certainly in Jets territory. Are the Angels becoming the Jets?
Mm.
Wow. So
Don't
I
want
do
to see
want to
that.
compare here. I do want to compare the absolute just thumper that is Reed Detmers compared to Tarek Skubal as in trade packages. So
Mhm.
Tarek Skubal's last 2 years, 2025, 2024, both Cy Youngs, literally won a Cy Young both years, All-Star both years, was top 10 in MVP voting, boasted a 2.39 ERA in 1 year with 18 wins. The next year boasted 13 wins with a 2.21 ERA. Reed Detmers the last 2 years, a 3.96 ERA and a 6.70 ERA with no other award nods. With
You
4
know,
wins and 5 wins respectfully. So he has half of the wins that Tarek Skubal had in his first Cy Young season through 2 years. I mean, Bob, that sounds like a damn good deal to me.
hey, if you think about it this way, if you just give up 4 less runs per 9 innings, they'd be the same player basically. Just 4. That's nothing crazy, right? I mean, yeah, like that's close
oh,
enough, Bob.
oh
Sorry, not you,
man.
Bob. The other Bob, the
Come
brain
on,
dead Bob. No
Gale.
offense to Mr.
Come
Nightingale.
on, Gale.
Hey, Nightingale, if you want to be on the show, I mean, by all means,
Should the
please hit
West
us
Coast
up. But I
offense
think I just
email
ruined that
Nightingale
opportunity.
for some words? Do you think he would respond?
There's nothing nice to say.
Oh
Can you
man,
imagine we get
that's
Artie
too
Moreno on the show?
good. Art, man. Yeah, we're
Could
your
you
number one
imagine, man?
fans, Art. Okay, so I feel like there's nothing we can even compare there. I mean, that's just such a ridiculous statement for our casuals that might be listening in here. That's a really dumb statement. That's never going to happen. They could probably get an okay trade package for him. Realistically, I don't think it's to that extent. But if they were to, for some reason, trade him, I think they can get some reasonable players, probably prospects. Honestly, it's probably what they would get. So we've taken quite a wild train ride to get here, but we are here. So the Angels, still kind of bad. They're working their way up. We're getting the All-Star break soon. Please enjoy the summer sun. Have some enjoyment in your life. Keep watching Angels baseball. Go Halos. This has been Peter Papalardo and Bob from Philly. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.